Good morning. It is raining out today. So I really want to be productive, but I don't think I can get like some wood building done. Come a long way. I've really been pushing to try and get stuff done. We've got another trip, just a local Minnesota trip here, like July 4th and after. I've got my normal week off, but I did take the 4th off, so the 4th and the 5th, which are 2 extra days that I normally don't have off. I haven't had July 4th off in several years because it's always fallen on my work week, and of all the holidays between my opposite partner at work, when we looked at all the holidays, like the ones that were most important to each of us, July 4th was one of hers. So now we have more help. So I'm taking advantage this one time and I took the days off. So I don't know. I'm not sure what we're going to do. We don't really have a whole lot of plans. Normally we would go up north. I know Jason has to work already Monday. So for him, wherever we go, we have to do kind of Saturday, Sunday, then drop him off. And then I've got the whole week, which I think I might go visit my Army buddy, Joe, who lives in southwestern Minnesota that I haven't seen in a long time. So let's just jump right into it. As you can see, there's a couple structures that are built here. Where the sink is there on the left, that's newer. That is an actual cabinet now. I had a little makeshift kind of shelf there from when we took our vacation earlier last month, but now I actually built the cabinet. It's nice right now. The sink is it's running, the water is running, it's working if I need it, but it's just nice to have something there, almost like a work surface per se, that I've been utilizing. The top is a acacia board. I kind of went back and forth whether or not I wanted to use like a thicker butcher block or like a thinner acacia. This is actually a glued edge, and I think I might do the drawer faces with the same. It seemed lighter weight, it was affordable, and I really liked the wood grain that is on that was on the pattern. I think it's gonna look really nice when everything is tied together. Behind there you kind of see that little cubby there. Now that's where my refrigerator is gonna go, and then underneath that is where my little Gare Bear, Gary the Porty, is. That's where his kennel. So I kind of put the kennel there, measured and built out that bottom cabinet. So his kennel has its 2-door opening. So I made it so he can have access from the side, and then also access more by that sliding door, because I've got some things in the works of what I want to do over by that sliding door, but I needed that dual accessibility. And I'm sure my mind is going to change about a million more times every time I build a structure. Then I'm kind of like, is this where I want everything? But I think this is where, because originally I did want the refrigerator on the other side by the sink, but then when I started measuring things, it just didn't give enough counter space, and I don't know that I want any particular counter over by the sliding door. It's like an all or nothing thing, if I want it on one side or the other. And I did want to keep my plumbing all kind of on the one side. On the right hand side, that's where the refrigerator, and then I also think there's enough room on top of the refrigerator for the microwave to go there as well. And it's nice because up in the ceiling in that area, that does also give a nice access point, where if the top of that cabinet is kind of secured up into the frame boards that I have up there for the ceiling, and the ceiling panels do not they're cut out there. They do not run. It's the cabinet goes straight up to the frame. But that is a really great access point for where, number one, that big wire came from the ceiling for my AutoClip Pro, and number two, kind of that area where it was leaking. So just cross my fingers, that's never going to happen, but just in case, I do have that nice access point if I do need to get up in that area without taking the ceiling panels down. With even the ceiling, each individual slat, they don't overlay each other. So if I wanted to take any individual slat of the ceiling down, I could do that. Any hooser. So what do you think about my choice of color with the blue? I really was potentially going with like a woodsy, maybe even coastal vibe. I wanted the van to feel not really closed in, kind of have some bright colors, especially with like the white in the back and the white in the ceiling. But then I also wanted some of those more richer tones with the wood that I incorporated in there. I kind of really went back and forth between whether I wanted blue or like a sagey olivey type green. Blue is my ultimate favorite color, but I do tend to go towards that green, especially in like clothing and decor choices. So I didn't know. I kind of went back and forth, and I think ultimately I kind of looked at like, I went with like the curtains I had in the front, and then the back are more blue and they've got lots of different shades and tones. So I thought, okay, I'm going to play with just kind of all different blue tones and kind of incorporate that. So we'll see. You know, the places that are painted in here, they could be repainted down the road if I wanted to redecorate or whatever. The wood slats on the walls, those are called coastal white, and you can't see it on the video, but right like where the edges butt up or where I've had to cut, you can kind of see the bare wood. So I am gonna have to get some color match paint and just kind of retouch that just to have a little sharper finish on that, but that's down the road. The front, kind of where I'm standing here painting, the front from there kind of forward is going to be that blue, and then just in the back, the cabinets and everything in the back by the bed, that's all just like neutral white that's going to be underneath. So I think the tie-in is just, when it's all said and done, it's going to look really nice with the choices. And then the bare piece of wood's like acacia board there that will have the food grade treated, and then the others will have more like a clear, just to bring out those rich tones in the different wood. Those will kind of be stained and sealed with that. And if I can direct your attention off to the right, where you can kind of see the bare piece of wood on the wall between the wood slats and the ceiling, that strip right there. So on that side, I'm just gonna have kind of like a floating shelf. And my plan is to have that, and then have that wrap from there on the side all the way to the back, and then along the back doors. So that'll just be kind of a nice shelf to put books or little knickknacks or just whatever. And then my cabinets will all go on the left hand side. You can kind of see that space on the top. I still have to do some studying and put the actual framework there on the van metal. For the upper cabinets, my upper cabinets are going to be along that whole left side there, from that point over the sink into the back bedroom area. I think that's going to give a lot of nice storage. I don't know if I've talked about it before, but in the shower, what I ultimately would like to do, whether it's going to work or not, is like, say I don't want to have any wasted space. Like, I already have to where the toilet rolls into the shower, and then it can roll back. But then also, like, say if you open the door to the shower, like there's just going to be a couple little doors, and that's going to be like a storage space. Not too big, because I can't make it so it's so heavy, like if you put things in there that the door's gonna sag or it's not gonna swing right, because I didn't put, like, say in the ceiling, in the beginning I thought maybe I was going to hang some rails up in the ceiling and have like a sliding mechanism that would come out. I think I'm just going to try and use a piano hinge, have a smaller, like just some smaller, like say toiletry cabinet storage into where that shower is, where you can just open a little door and have that, but then the little door is onto the bigger door, if that makes sense, and then open the bigger door and then you have your shower. And then when you're showering, you just hold the doors open, and then there's either I will get a Nautilus shower curtain or just a regular shower curtain. Either or would work just fine. Haven't decided if I want to do the Nautilus or not. Like, they look great, they're self-cleaning, but do I ultimately need it? That's kind of more like a want than a need. Painting done. Actually got I actually had to break down and ask for help. This is the first time I've actually so up until this point I've done everything, even my out-equip upstairs here, I put that up there myself. This is the first time I actually could not lift something, and I kind of could, but it was just a really awkward angle to get it into this space. We had to kind of come up and over and in with my refrigerator. So the fridge is here in the painted cabinet. The microwave did fit in there very nicely. I don't know if you can kind of see that. I do have to do like just some detail like trimming and stuff like that, but that's gonna be down the road. After I get like everything in, then I'm gonna go over everything in kind of the fine details to just button up all that trimming and stuff. That's gonna be probably one of the very, very last things I will probably do when everything is kind of close to said and done. Let me see if I can take you with me here. I want to do some kind of like a little pocket inside there, but right now the curtain's there on that side and on that side. Right now I just have the magnetic backs. Actually, cut them apart. I think I'm going to double these up because I love like how, and I've got two of these if you remember from the winter, these nice insulated, but I don't need it the full length. Part of this wall will be finished out, but I wanted the windows to be covered. So I think I'm going to double these up and then just use those for like curtains, window covers in the back. Kind of repurposing. But they're nice and quilted, and they just, when it was cold, it really helps keep the cold out, but even I've noticed on hot days, it helps insulate and keep the cold in when I have my air conditioner running. You can see I've just got some wiring. All the wiring in here, the wiring itself is complete. Everything's hooked up. I have some switches here. There's a back porch light back there and the backup camera. There's two switches that I ordered and I'm waiting on. The front room switch and the back room switch each it's like a dual switch. Those are both on dimmer, so I had to get a specific type of switch that works with the dimmers. So like say if I open the back door and I want to shut off or turn on those lights, I'll have access on this area. So there'll be a switch for the back door light and a switch for the interior lights back here. This is my current setup, version 3.0 in my electric. This also, I've got on this behind me, I want that to be a bench and this to be a bench. Then, because the bed is going to come, when the bed is all the way out, it'll come to right there where you see kind of the edge of this. You'll see I've got little, I'm going to digress a little, I've got little sliders here on the side of this compartment. So this is going to be like a pull out kind of like pantry, because then here on this edge, this is going to be a wall that goes all the way up. That'll be thinner though, because this is the 3/4 inch plywood and this one just needs the structure. So this will be thinner because that's not really holding any weight there. It's just going to be that. I've got a ventilation fan that is mounted on the wall behind the fridge. And then I just have a vent hole cut here and one on the other side as well. But I've got a ventilation fan that I can either set it to automatic for a certain temperature, or I can manually turn that on. That blows and just helps move the air behind the fridge. Let's take a look over here. This is my freshwater tank. I do have an access port here. If I want like a big lid, I wanted to be able to look in there. If I want to do like even a deep clean from this angle, I can. And then there's a fill port that goes out to kind of that board there that goes outside to that'll be the outside shower out there. But I've just kind of have that closed in. This is going to be that little bench here, and then I've got a little viewpoint there, and then at the end is another viewpoint so I can see what level I'm at. I also have a float sensor in there so I can check that. I think there's another little thing that I didn't have before is I found these peel and stick tiles for my little backsplash here. I do have to kind of go through and do some trimming and caulk, but I've got and I might go this way, I'm not sure, but just some peel and stick tiles that I reinforce. Like those puppies are not coming off, but I thought those tied in really nice. And then from, of course, my countertop, now, okay, trigger warning, I don't know what kind of junk I have in here. I kind of threw some stuff in here. But I've got my drawers. Got one. And they're just tacked on right now, so I'm going to try and just be really gentle with them. I'm going to put some like marine hatches on here. But I've got two soft closed drawers and then my little door, because then I've got down here, I don't know if it's light enough, I've got my water filter and my hot water tank, and then just a little bit of space for storage. And then here's where my toilet is, and this slides out, and there's a little bit of space like underneath when that slides out that I could use for storage. I don't know if one of the cassettes for this would fit underneath there, but then there's a little bit, got my little pea powder, and I think like if I wanted to put toilet paper or whatever, there's a little storage space right there. And then there's a little ledge right here where I also could have storage. So I'm thinking maybe just to have like a pull out type drawer, because then I'm almost thinking like on this side, this little ledge is, if I made like a little trash, like this would be kind of a cool little place for trash. And this is just a it's not that big of a ledge, that if I had a pull out, because I do want to be able to access this, that outlet is on that back wall, but in the back of the toilet there is the battery. and you don't keep your battery plugged in all the time. It just needs to be charged like every 3-4 months, if even, and that's what keeps it to be able to flush. And then these drawer faces, I might just either route like a little design. I haven't decided yet how I exactly want them to look, but then I'll stain and finish these. They'll look really nice. The bed I've put in and ripped out and put in and ripped out several times. I thought I wanted a fixed bed, but the more every single time I just put the fixed bed in, because that just fits perfectly in the space. Every time I put it in, I'm just like, no, I want it to slide somehow. I want there to be just a little bit at least of additional seating. So what I've decided is I want the bed to be able to slide back. I'm going to experiment and possibly cut my mattress in half to where you've got the base of the mattress and then a piece flips up and can go kind of on that back wall, and have where you can have like a couch piece, and then like I said, that little seating here. I'm not going to have a fixed table. Underneath is, I've got to figure out some sort of storage. I don't know. And this between, so here all the way to back there, that's where I plan on putting my upper cabinets. And then I've got 2 fans that are hardwired into my DC. I think I'm going to put them underneath the upper cabinets there, and they'll be on a swivel so you can turn the angle there with that. So I cannot believe how far I've made it in 13, 14 weeks. I feel very accomplished. I've gotten so much done. I thought originally, it's going to take a good couple years to get all the fun things that I want, especially a lot of the outer gear that I want for the van, kind of like the outrigging and all that fun stuff, because that's pretty pricey. But as far as the interior goes, even just thinking of a fall trip, we're going to be pretty comfy cozy and kind of riding in style. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of what I've accomplished in these weeks. Thank you so much for following me. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you want to learn about the Dollar Dream and what that's all about, what my Dollar Dream is about, go back to episode 1 and listen to my little rant and why I'm doing this whole thing in the first place. Follow me along with my crazy adventure. Things are really starting to take shape. Coming up is we're going to do that part 2 with the shower. We're going to get the shower tiled. The shower pan's going to get tiled. The walls are going to get tiled. I think we're going to do a sliding door / pocket, kind of like some sort of pocket / sliding door up by the front cab. We're going to start looking at some more trim and things that we're going to do. I got to figure out what I'm going to do in the sliding door area for storage and space and all that fun jazz. I've got to figure out what's going on with the bed, so that will probably be one video in itself. But lots of things. There's still a ton more to do, a ton more adventures to watch. There's still a lot of cool things to watch, and we're just going to keep plugging along. Well, for now, we'll see you on the next video. We'll see what we have in store. Bye.